Hey everybody, this is your favorite coach, Coach Rigo, for Team Galo. We are in the basement and we're going to be learning some stuff with our dummies, right? It's pandemic. Don't have as many people to choke and practice with. So we got our dummies, okay? Today you're just going to need a dummy or a person, or you can make a dummy, like we have a video on that as well. My dummy has a gi on him. You don't necessarily need it because today we're going to be learning the Kimura. Now, a lot of people are like, Kimura, that's a white belt. Like, we learned that like second week or something like that. Any technique, you should never have the mentality of, oh, I already know how to do that, and I don't need to practice it because I mastered it or something like that. Now, I always go back to the beginning. I find myself starting all the way back, doing cross chokes and just passing guard, staying on top, that kind of thing. And then I usually finally trickle my way down, getting into like berimbolo, inverting, and all these kinds of craziness, right? But it's always good to go back and, you know, see where you're at with the basics. So this technique that I'm showing you today is not just a basic Kimura. It's going to be a little bit different. We're going to do it from side position, and that's where we're going to start from. Okay, so make sure you have a dummy. Doesn't have to have a gi. Just need arms, really. Okay, and then we're going to keep on keeping on. All right, stay tuned. So we're set up with our dummy. We're going to be going into side position. But every time I like to practice, I always like to practice like I have to work for things. Okay, because it's very rarely that something's just handed to you in jiu-jitsu. You basically gotta trick somebody or muscle something or finesse it to get what you want. It's very rare that it's just somebody just leaves an arm out, you know, things like that. At like white belt level, that can happen. Blue belt level, not too much. And then when you get up to the higher belts, you're gonna have to work hard for everything you get. So we're gonna start in side position. I've talked about this quite a bit. Now for side position, we're just gonna go over side position real quick. Anytime I'm doing a standard side position, I got one hand under the head and the other hand is going through the armpit on the other side, either hugging the shoulder, or what I like to do is get this hand all the way through and then cupping inside the armpit. And the other hand is just kind of out here, okay? Pushing back, whatever basing. I usually have my elbow kind of tucked in right to the mat, right next to the hip. Now, the feet, okay? What we're gonna be doing with the feet, I like to drop the hip right to the mat, okay? Having all this here, okay? That's your proper basic setup for a side position, okay? Just like that, okay? Now, I like to trap this arm. Usually, I like to either pick it up with the hand, scooping it. With the dummy, I'm probably gonna have to. I like to kick through, just like this. Not out here like this, okay? Keeping nice and low. Once I kick this through, yeah, there's ways to finish the guy like this, but usually they're gonna be fighting through, okay? So when I get that first leg through, right, I step, okay? And the other one, I step over. And that's gonna hug that arm right where I need to, and I drop that hip right to the mat, okay? Now I'm in my proper setup here. Usually this is how I like to do side position. Now, hand placement, okay? We're gonna move on to the beginning of this Kimura. Now we're gonna go into like a modified side position or a reverse side position. So basically what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna take my hand out and I'm gonna meet it on the other side. And I'm gonna switch my hips from here to here, okay? And what's like this, switching like that, okay? Now what that's gonna do, it's gonna cover his face so he can't see what I'm doing, okay? Once I'm here, a lot of the times these guys, they start to hide the arm because they don't want you messing with it. As soon as I feel like I'm touching it, they're thinking, oh, he's going for a Kimura. And most times they're right. I will just fire it through, collect, and switch my hips back and turn to the other side to finish the Kimura. Now, let's just pretend we got a high level dummy here. He's not falling for my stuff. From here, okay, a couple things you can do. Some guys do this. They'll start messing with the legs, and then the hand will come out to stop it, okay? And that's when we can kind of grab it. Now, not everyone's gonna fall for that. So a lot of times I like to dig underneath that elbow, and I like bounce on the guy. Just go here, squish, and then up, and I fire the hand through, right through that elbow. Once I'm here, I'll turn my hips back towards him, so I'll put my knees kind of towards him. So I'm like this. We'll have that one hook in. I'm not really grabbing anything, just sticking it through. My knee is gonna go right back to where I was, and then I'm gonna shoot up to him. Okay? Once I'm here, I'm actually gonna step over his head. I'm actually gonna pull up on the Kimura. I'm gonna pretend that he's holding onto his belt or his other hand or something like that. I'll have to step over. Okay? Once I'm here, I'll put knee to the mat. I'm kind of sitting on his head or his ear. Now, if you have a partner, don't panic. It's just a butt, okay? Just try not to fart on them. You're not gonna appreciate that. So from here, a lot of times guys will try to finish the Kimura by just pulling straight up, hoping that they let go. But sometimes, you know, you're pulling and they're holding onto the gi or they're holding onto their own hand. Some guys like to pull away, which is a better way of doing it, and then coming back for a Kimura. Okay? That's all good stuff. I do this too, because I'll usually switch into arm bars. There's a whole bunch of stuff here. We have an arm isolated, so we can do a lot here. But this is how I like to do things, okay? I like to get up on that foot, especially if the guy's fighting it. I can't finish the Kimura here, the guy's just fighting it. I get up on that foot. Now, I'm basically gonna sit down. I'm gonna sit down right next to his head, and as I'm pulling, because I have my key lock in here, right? As I'm pulling down, my other foot's gonna go over. So now I have the arm in between my legs as I fall back. Now from here, turn a little bit. I'm basically like this. Okay? And from here, I can continue to finish the Kimura. Okay? It's fairly nasty. Okay? So just lock up that key lock, and away you go. Okay? So, one more time, really quickly. Find your side position. Okay? Find your side position. Going to modified side position or reverse side position. See on my hands. One goes underneath. I lift to get that hand underneath. And I switch my hips. Okay? Now from here, I already have my hand in. Okay? But if you don't, like I said, you guys being tough, can't get it. You know what I mean? I'll just be putting my weight on it, getting my hand ready. I just pull up and shoot through and get that hand through. Once it's there, my hips are gonna switch back and I'm gonna cradle up to him. So now I'm just controlling the wrist so he doesn't kind of come around. I'm just controlling the wrist with the other hand. I can lock up the key right now if I want to. Switch my hips back and I'm gonna lift up on that shoulder and I step. Okay, once it's here, I can go right down to my knee, forcing the whole body down. Now from here, you can get pretty lucky by pulling away and then finishing a Kimura from here, which is really good. If you can't do that, I get back up to that foot and I just sit down. Okay? I'll show you from a different angle here. Just sit down right here. Boom. Foot comes over and lock. Now I can finish the Kimura. Okay? Let's try that out. Okay? Anytime you're practicing drills like this, just do them over and over again. Try both sides, and I like to do 10 times each. That's always a good way to kind of get that down and then review it later. It's nice that we have these videos that we can always go back to. You can reverse, pause it, slow motion, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, we're gonna move on. I'm gonna throw a little bonus technique in there for you, okay? Okay, bonus technique. That one position where we're just gonna skip that side position, we're gonna get to this guy right here. We got the key lock, we're kind of in a Kimura position. Every once in a while, I'll run into a guy that's just, I can't get it, can't move it, I'm about to lose my position, but this is a very strong position to be in. But let's say I can't get it. There's always the old fashioned, okay? We can turn. All we gotta do here, very simple. We can just put our foot right here. I like to put my foot typically under the elbow, right there, okay? You can put it in front of the face, but I like to kind of put it over the elbow, okay? That kind of separates their hands, especially if you're holding it, but they might be holding it here. So that might be a tricky thing to do if they're especially holding it like this. Then you have no option than just to put your foot there. Now if he's holding onto his gi, if it's a gi thing, I like to put my foot right there, okay? You can do both ways, it just adds a little extra security for myself. Once I'm there, I will turn, basically turn. So I'm gonna switch. And as I do it, I get up on that foot. And my knee goes right into the armpit, just like that. Still have my key lock. that? Boom, one. And then I sit down with it, pulling the arm close to me, okay? Keeping his foot in the armpit. Now, if he's still holding onto his gi, you know what I mean? Holding onto that gi, I can easily break it, but this foot here is basically keeping the arm from reaching. Okay? I can always just keep kicking it away. Pinching my knees, just like a normal arm bar, and pulling, okay? If you're still holding onto the gi, change the angle. I like to go up, right? Or if I'm just holding onto that elbow part, I can palm out and pull and then rotate. Or we do the old-fashioned the other way, is you can switch your grip. Okay, see that? I was like this, switch it, and I can grab leg here, and then pull this way and get the arm bar. Sneaky little arm bar attempt, pretty quick and easy. So on your side, Kimura, right? Let's say he was holding onto his own hands, okay? I step right in front of his face, everything's pretty much the same. Me, sit down. Here we go. Now, because I don't have my other leg over his chest, it's not gonna really matter a whole hell of a lot, but basically just pinch your knees and finish, okay? Try that out, like I said, 10 times, okay? So I'm gonna show you a couple other things to do. There's not gonna be any workout drills today. I'm just gonna show you a couple things that I just want you going with your dummy, okay? A lot of different moves from that position. Now we have our Kimura, which I really like. There's an arm bar there, which is kind of plan B. There's a lot of other things you can do, the more advanced stuff. Now, some jiu-jitsu gyms don't like slicers. I understand why, but pulling them off on somebody that's not aware of them can be disastrous, especially if you're still learning it yourself. So I like you to be careful with these next little things, which is going to involve a little bit of slicer. And usually in Team Galo, we all very aware of slicers. But for people that are watching your channel that have no idea, basically a slicer is you're basically putting a wedge into a joint and then folding the joint over on itself basically. And basically what happens is it starts to pull almost the muscle away from the bone, okay? It sounds terrible because it is. It's very painful. Sometimes people say it's even more painful right when they let go, because everything kind of slings back and then that's when the real pain kicks in. This can destroy a joint, okay? A lot of jiu-jitsu chokes and stuff like that just kind of take the guy out, you know? He's not awake anymore, you can walk away. This is straight up maiming people. Which in jiu-jitsu, you know, we're all kind of sadistic with this kind of stuff, so fun. So we're gonna start in that same position, okay? That same position. Now, just because I'm showing you straight from here, I don't want you starting from here. I want you starting from side position and working your way to this, okay? Because that's kind of like your workout. As you do this, you know, you do this for like a half an hour, just working with the dummy, you will start getting warm and you will start sweating. So let's say we start with our key lock, okay? Other moves I like to do. Super easy to do, especially when you have this. There almost should be no reason for you to do this, but why not? I mean, it's a little finesse, changes things up. People are expecting the Kimura, okay? Well, maybe they're expecting the arm bar. Now, I use slicers on usually the bigger guys because I'm small and puny and weak. So I like to finish them with trickery, magic, smoke and mirrors, and that's usually how I like to get my wins. This is easier this way. So pretend huge guy, right? Kimura. I like to step big on the outside. So the side where his head is facing, where he's looking that way, that's the leg that's gonna come over. So I have my key lock, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lean over, and I'm gonna fire this leg right over top the body, and I lock it in here. Now, I can let go of the key lock, because I can grab my own pant, okay? His foot's kind of pinched in here. Now, a lot of different things you can do from here. Obviously, I can just lock this up, and basically from right from here, I like to do a little shoulder roll. So I like rolling over this way. See this? Now I have basically the slicer right here. All I do for this position is I like to triangle my feet. Okay. A lot of guys are saying like they're gonna pull on your foot. It won't really do much. I can still straighten out, or I like to kind of hide it behind their head. Okay. That way it's gonna be a hard one to break. But if I put it in front, it might be bothersome. So I like to triangle a little bit, and I like to do the Italian taxi driver. So I have my hand out right to the elbow. I like to come up, and basically from here, I'm basically gonna be forcing the elbow joint to my face as I pull. You will get a strain on this like you're not gonna believe. They will be tapping, okay? Now, let's say your slicer is a little bit loose. It's not working. It happens. Okay? You can still let go of that triangle, find the head, and go through. Lock up your feet. Now from here, it's a simple triangle. You can pull in, grabbing the foot, locking up a triangle. Right? There's your triangle. Okay? Fire it across, close it up. Right? Can't get the triangle, you can move on. Foot can come across, fire through an armbar. So there's a lot of stuff that you can do from that kind of north-south Kimura position. There's a lot of stuff. That's only a couple of them, right? So we have a Kimura, we got an armbar, and we have a slicer that we can throw into a triangle. Okay? There's even omoplatas. Now, I'm not big of an omoplata guy, but they're there. So you can start in your position. If you want to practice your omoplatas, we have our key lock. Okay? It's super easy, especially if you break it, right? If you break the grip, you can finish the Kimura, but sometimes guys are still fighting you with this. So as you're fighting with this guy, you can step over, just like we're doing a slicer, but I don't have my foot on top. Sometimes, if you're going for the slicer, that might happen where the hand just pops out, and that's fine. If that happens, you just continue to spin on them. So here, arm comes out, I just start to spin. Fire my feet together on the other side. Just like that, okay? Show you that again. Different angle. Here we are, Kimura, step over, boom. And now all I do is continue the motion. I put my hand on the mat, focus off myself, I just kind of lean, fire through. Feet get turned, a nice little Z pattern S sit. Okay. From here, I like to slink away as much as I can, and then finish the Kimura. Not Kimura, the omoplata, okay? And of course, we could always go back and forth, you know? The guy starts rearing up on you, right? It's rearing up, you can switch. Triangles again, okay? So have fun with the dummy. Keep on going with it. Like I said, there's a lot of submissions there you can play with. And similar with dummies, you can flow roll with people and you'll find some new techniques that you didn't think were there, but they're there. So it's interesting, but keep on going with the dummies, okay? So each drill, okay? 10 times, each side, okay? Get good at that stuff. So you have Kimura, armbar, slicer, triangle, okay? There's 4, right? What else is there? We got more. Omoplata, 5, okay? 10 times each, that's 50 drills, 50 sets, okay? Go for it, see if you can do it today. All right, guys? All right, and I hope to have another video by Wednesday, and I'll see you soon, okay? Gym's looking better and better every day. Should be done, I think, today. So, see you soon.